Welcome to the Epic SMP Recap with your host, Crisair, going through all the major things that happened in the server this week, as well as a few extra things that you may potentially have missed if you don't watch enough of the streams. And now I do want to quickly make this clear before we go into this, is that I'm probably going to miss some extra tidbits and information that you may potentially know, so if there's things that I may have missed and you thought I should have put in this video, let me know down in the comments down below, as I will be making a secondary video to follow up in a couple of days, giving the extra information that I may have potentially missed. But without further ado, let's roll the first clips and let's go!
Can you feel the love?
You have such a beautiful
Catch
voice.
me!
Oh, God! What the fuck?
Being the fact that it's week 1, the main events that happened in this week was really just the beginning of the server. That was essentially the biggest thing, and not much else really happened to that gratitude, with almost everyone who was in the server itself being there on day 1, aside from people like Captain Sparkles, who ended up joining on day 2. And after everyone had set up their proximity chat, Spawn became the loudest mess in existence, but it was funny, to say the least. We also had someone get themselves cancelled within the first few hours of the server starting, as well as some beautiful lore information coming into effect right off the bat. Aside from the core events that happened on day 1, not much else really happened throughout the week. There's just smaller bits and pieces that we'll be covering later in this video. Either way, let's roll the next clip and move on to the next part.
This is the right testy. I really hope I came from the right testicle. I think
Wait, why?
because they're just better. Wait, do you think left-handed
put that
people
back.
came from their left testicle?
I gotta put that back.
Here, I got it.
One second.
Yeah, it's all about like your dominant side. Like, of course your sperm's gonna go to your dominant ball.
I think I came from the middle.
72 at Garden City, 70 reported by Dodge City and Liberal, 72 over by the good folks.
When I first made a video talking about this server, right before the server began in the first place, I said that one of the things that would probably happen is we're going to see people get cancelled left, right, and center because of the sheer mix of the audience that are watching this content. Considering that some of the crafters that are playing this game have a more of a stand-based audience and more of the family-friendly-esque audience that like to cancel people over smallest things, and then you've got the edgy creators who make some pretty out there jokes that sometimes can be taken offensive from some people and sometimes not, depending on who you are. But essentially, when I first looked at this, I predicted that we're going to have some cancellations almost immediately. And guess what? Theory got proven correct when Fitz dropped the R word when he was insulting himself live on stream, and Twitter made it goddamn trend with over 20,000 tweets because apparently that word's extraordinarily offensive. Now, I don't want to get into word politics here, but I feel like that the R word is its own thing. It's nowhere near as bad as the F slur or the N word, because those things actually have proper history and connotation to the word. R word, on the other hand, not so much. It was a medical term, got used occasionally as insults against neurodivergent people, and to be honest, a majority of the people I see going after Fitz for saying this word are people defending or feeling offended for someone else just because they don't feel offended themselves. Like, I've seen many people who are autistic, who are neurodivergent themselves, and say that this doesn't matter. Who cares? Word's a word. It really doesn't mean much because it's used as a joke 9 times out of 10. If it was maybe said against a neurodivergent person, okay, fair enough, cancel away. But it was used as an insult to himself, so aside from that, it was really not a worthwhile cancellation. But either way, that was it for week 1. Will we have someone else get cancelled next week? Probably. Knowing the server, someone else is going to say something stupid, and Twitter's going to go and have their field day with it on trend page. Anyway, roll the next clip. Next part, boys and girls.
Joining the stream chat because
Look,
Rizzo is
we don't have to look. Just stop.
Yes.
Like, if you can just
Hey,
be
hold
like,
on.
I don't know. Because people like celebrate.
Chad,
They're
just
like, oh,
fucking ignore it.
yeah,
Like, every time somebody makes a transphobic comment, you don't have to go up in arms in the chat. You don't have to donate calling them assholes. You don't have to do anything. Just fucking move on. Just move on from it. It hurts nobody. It hurts literally nobody. It's bullshit, I get it, but all you're doing is prolonging bullshit in the chat. Just chill the fuck out. Don't get wrapped around the axle because someone's an asshole. And just fucking relax and enjoy the stream. It's not hard. It really isn't hard to not type anything. Maurice is a strong, independent woman. She doesn't need you in the chat defending her. She doesn't give a fuck. So relax, please, for Christ's sake. Someone makes a transphobic comment, my whole fucking chat just turns to dog shit. So stop. All you have to do is stop. All right?
So there was a fair amount of lore building considering that it's only been a week since the server originally started, and we've already got things like the Void as a major thing in play with the story and the lore behind the server itself, as with many different events happening around it within the first couple of days of streams when it comes to thinking about Ted and Slimesicle. And if you want to know more about the Void, I made a video a couple of days ago discussing it in far more detail, going over all the major events that happened in week 1. Link will be in the end card up above, as well as a link in the description down below if I forget to do the end card. Yell at me in the comment section if I forget to do the end card. But some other funny bits of lore and information that's currently happening, which is more on the roleplay side of things, is that Slimesicle became an intern to Swagger and J-Slat, making for some fun, interesting content coming from that group, especially when J-Slat becomes Corpse, with that weirdly deep voice he does against Slime when they're in the treehouse, which was definitely interesting to say the least. Another interesting bit to the lore is that Jacob has been instructed by God to collect the head of everyone in the server. Now for those of you who don't know how he's going to do this, essentially there's a mod in the server that makes it so whenever a player dies they drop their head. And so essentially the quote-unquote God of Epic SMP has asked Jacob to collect everyone's heads, which has definitely led to some interesting events and shenanigans happening on with the first week already, and he's definitely getting there and getting some heads, which is honestly an interesting piece of the lore to add into the Void stuff, and it's going to be fun to see how quickly he can manage to do this task in the server. Anyhow, let's move on to the next clip.
Anyway, it's a wonderful establishment that you've created.
I know. It really is. It's such a great build. Can I see you, like, twirl around?
Oh, sure,
Just,
sure,
you know,
sure. Just,
oh my God.
just can do one of these.
God,
do one of these.
wow, that's hot.
Hey.
Hey.
You guys having a
What's
good
up?
day?
But,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, one of the biggest things that you guys probably already know is that the Create mod is the main mod of this server. And essentially, for those who don't know what the Create mod is, it's essentially a technological-based mod that relies heavily on kinetic energy, and essentially just is another step above Redstone, with adding even more ways to automate your work, and automate your farms, and automate everything to do with your stuff and builds you make in the server. And essentially, one of the key people that is doing a lot of work when it comes to the Create mod is Swagger Souls, who has streamed pretty much every day since the server has started for at least 8 to 10 hours. In day 1 alone, Swagger Souls had built an epic windmill, had built a crusher for crushing souls, had built a massive drill, had built so many different weird and wacky things with the Create mod. And now that it's been a couple of days in, he's used a schematic cannon to make a massive prison wall, as well as made a collection of other windmills, more automations, better drills, even used the drill in the nether to get netherite, as well as other fun, interesting things with the Create mod such as that. He's also gone to the point to make a massive train track that goes around a majority of the main core of the server that's got a very heavy use on a custom locomotive train that is built with the Create mod. And there was a lot of shenanigans when it came down to that. There was a lot of issues that came through. First off, with the passenger car declipping from the main car and going off on its own. Then we had some shenanigans with a creeper blowing up the back end of the passenger car, requiring Swagger Souls to take the entire thing apart and rebuild it back at the start and fix it up again. By the end of that stream, he had it working and it was pretty goddamn cool. While with that, there's been a lot of building, a lot of settlement building between like all the different smaller areas of the server, which has definitely led to some pretty cool things. You've got the boomers in one area of the server who really didn't like Swagger getting the train track a little bit too close to their base. You've got the choice building where you can either pick to be a homophobe or be gay, which is just funniest thing has come out of that. Just like you get so many people who you wouldn't think would care that much about this type of thing accidentally going into the wrong room and then just making for the funniest thing to just like basically someone's gonna get cancelled for walking in there and someone is gonna see it, take it seriously and try to cancel them on Twitter sooner or later, which is gonna be the funniest thing to watch when it happens. And essentially we've just had some fun just going through the server over the past week. Now, as I stated at the start of this video, I've definitely missed some things from this week's recap. Some key information information that you might have seen that I may have completely missed or may have completely gone over my head. And if I did do that, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always reading the comments for at least the first day or two. Afterwards, I'm not so sure because I'm mixing through different channels. Don't worry about it. And essentially, in a couple of days, once I think I've gathered enough information to make a part 2, just to get extra information on extra things that happen in the server, I'll be dropping that one. But either way, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to smash a like down below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe with post notifications on. And I'll see you guys later throughout the week with either a follow-up recap information or with some lore building at the end of the week. Either way, guys, I've been Chris Air, and goodbye.
Some bread.
Oh, the bread?
Do you
Is this
have
your
to?
house?
No,
you
this
have
is
to,
Swagger's.
You have to make it moist, right? First.
I think so, but I don't think the system here is working. The wind's not on. I don't know how
Oh, no,
he starts.
there's a furnace right here.
Yeah, we gotta start the furnace. We gotta put some coal in, I think. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, here it
There
goes.
we go.